This video is brought to you by CB Synthetics. CB Synthetics is my side business that when I'm not messing with crypto, I'm also trying to run this. Amsoil is a very popular, top-notch synthetic lubricant, motor oil for motorcycles and all kinds of toys. Also, check out the link I have for Saltwater Madness. This is a good friend of mine who shows you how to do fishing in down south Louisiana. Speckled trout, redfish, wintertime, summertime, it doesn't matter. He's always hooking into these fish. So today, we're going to be heading up a little north on I-55 from where I am. So Saturday, we activated 2 different parks in Grand Isle, Louisiana, which is the most south, basic, almost south tip you can go in Louisiana, close to it. But we were right on the Gulf of Mexico. First spot wasn't that great. I found out, even though I made 19 contacts, it was very rough. But I had a lot of, the antenna I'm using is only about 8 or 9 foot tall. It's a borrowed hamstick. You can check out the first video if you want to see the details of that. Make a long story short, Amazon lost my antenna I ordered, and as of last night, it still wasn't around. So I had to cancel that, got my refund, and now I have a 17-foot chameleon whip that I am ordering. So I'm trying to make my setups easy. Eventually, I'd like to get an end-fed half wave. Also, by the time I go to Missouri and do that. But for the parks and stuff that I'm doing now around Louisiana, like the one I'm going to, the one I went to Friday, neither one of those had a tree to hang an end-fed half wave. And I just don't want to deal with the whole pole thing and extending a pole up and that kind of stuff like that. So I am where I went yesterday, there really wasn't even one either. Even though there was some trees around, you couldn't get to the trees, just the way the parking's laid out. It's kind of open. So with a vertical one, I should be able to get that one kind of straight up. But then the second park I went to in Grand Isle was right on the beach. Like, it was literally on the beach. You can check that video out, and it was awesome, really. They had an awesome breeze coming through. It wasn't super duper hot. They had some rain earlier that day. A lot of cloud cover. The beach sand was really wet, so I could drive onto that beach and set the antenna up right at the back. And that's I never thought I could ever say I would take a table and set that up and stuff like that, but I could have did that on the Saturday afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday we went to St. James Parish, which is Convent, Louisiana, and we went to Maurepas Swamp Wildlife Management Area, and we did very, very well. And again, I had a lot of problems. If you check out the video that I just uploaded, and I had a lot of problems getting my SWRs down for some reason. Same antenna, exact same radios. It just goes to show you that ham is finicky, and sometimes the ham gods like to play jokes on you. I don't know if the soil was a little bit different. They were both wet. They were both over, dirt. I don't know. But where Saturday afternoon on the beach, I could get a 1-1 or 1-2 to 1 SWR. My external tuner went to bypass, so it didn't even try to tune that. Yesterday, I was getting a 4 to 1, sometimes 4.5 to 1, sometimes 3.5 to 1, and I had to really play with those radios and everything. And the lowest I could get it was a 2.7 to 1, which then I used the external tuner, able to get it back down. But I was getting some 5.9 plus signal reports. Now I don't know what their setup was, but hey, it worked out. So for today of our day 3, we are going to Manchac, Louisiana. It's along I-55. I'm sure some of y'all in the United States are familiar with I-55. I-55 starts here in Laplace, Louisiana, where I am now. That's where I work at. And it ends somewhere way north. I don't know if it, I know it goes through Illinois. I don't know if it hits Wisconsin or something. I'm not that, I never followed it that far before. But right past right north of St. John Parish is Manchac, Louisiana. That's the south end of DIPOLE Parish. What's cool about it is Lake Pontchartrain comes through where Lake Maurepas is. Hence, yesterday we had the Maurepas management area. But where Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas, there's a pass called Manchac Pass. And what's cool about that is on the south side, there is the Manchac Wildlife Management Area that the state maintains, which is a POTA. And on the north side of that pass, which is DIPOLE Parish, is the Joyce Wildlife Management Area. Either one of those can be POTA activations. Now, I have passed through there at 65, 70 miles an hour. Never hunted either one. It's a lot more wetlands and swamps, so there's not really a lot of ground hunting you can do unless getting it from the road. You know, if you have a boat, you can access a lot of it. But my point is, I have no idea where to park at. There's, unlike some other management areas, there's no roads that go into this management area. So there are a couple of side border roads where the check-in stations are, and where those check-in stations are, I'm thinking about, you know, there's not gonna be anybody hunting, so I'm not gonna be messing with anybody or getting in anybody's way. But I'm thinking about setting up there. But I'm honestly gonna go check out both of them and see which one I kind of like better. See if there's one that's a little bit more open, since I seem to do better with this antenna when I have a little more open area. But I guess that's the fun of checking all this stuff out. All right, so we're in Manchac, Louisiana right now. To the right is the Manchac Wildlife Management Area, like I was saying. And they got a couple of little roads right here that you can pull off to the right. And technically you're in the Wildlife Management Area. And, you know, that's one option. I kind of just looked at that. There's not really any great places to park. There's a lot of boats out here. Maybe I should be fishing instead of making hand videos. But this is the Manchac Pass I was telling you about. As you can see there. And this way is Lake Maurepas. If you can see that. Not really. You got a big bridge right there in the way. This also is, for those who might have seen it, because I know it made national news, this is where that big horrible crash happened. This is the famous Middendorf's Catfish Restaurant. For those who are around Louisiana or pass through here that have heard about it. And now we're getting into the Joyce Management Area. It'll be up here in this curve on the right-hand side. But what I was saying before the wind interrupted me, but last year they had a horrific crash, 100 and something vehicle pileup. There was really bad fog and also some smoke in the area that mixed around. And it was a horrible crash. Several people lost their lives. And that was right there at that spot on I-55 that I just showed y'all on that, you know, high part of that bridge. So this right here is Joyce, and we're gonna see, I'm just looking on the map, see if they got some roads or something that we might be able to pull in and see about activating this one. All right, this is our setup for this park, Manchac Wildlife Management Area. Got the little picnic area over there, but again, it's 90 degrees already, 9 o'clock in the morning. I got my radio spread out, and we'll see what it can do. See if it was maybe third time's a charm and there'll be a good SWR in this, and we'll see. I am right underneath some power lines, of course, but I rode up and down this road, and they got a couple of roads that go into management area, real short roads, but people live right there on the edge, and I don't want to cause no issues. All right, so this is where it's at. Again, same antenna, 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. The 14320, we had a 1.45 or 1.44, the 14340. So same antenna we had yesterday, getting a 4 and also a 3 to 1. Goes to show you how them radios are spread out. I guess the kind of dirt that's around it, but it all makes a difference. So I should have no problem tuning around on this. What I do want to see is, just for curiosity, what's the SWR going to be at on FT8 frequencies. So the FT8 frequencies, we're at 2.07 to 1. But it shows you how this ham stick, it just continuously goes down. We saw that yesterday, and here we are again. So with the tuner, I might try some FT8, see if my radio can handle it. I don't know why. I mean, that SWR should be good, but that's the same thing I had in Grand Isle, and the radio was shut down and didn't like it. So we'll play around with it. Let me get some SSB phone contacts first, and then we'll see about spreading it out. Let's get everything set up in here. So, still trying to set up here. Looks like the ham gods have blessed us with some good propagation. The only problem is on 20 meters, when I tell you there's not an inch of space, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here in the central part of the United States. It's 88 degrees. I don't know what the heat index is, but the bands are even hotter. There's not a stretch of frequency anywhere in 20-meter ham band that's open. So right now I'm trying to see about maybe some 15 meters or 17 meters. I don't know. I'm gonna go look at the POTA website and see what it looks like people are doing. But at 20 meters, I don't have anything open. So I'm trying to figure that out now. So y'all know the timeline I've been here. I've been on 14337. I told this guy right here that the frequency was in use. I've been here, it is 10:42. So I've been here over 20 minutes. And when I tell him frequency use, he's trying to tell me he's been there for 30 minutes. Now, you know, if that guy had been there, there's no way at all I could have all these calls already. And that's the frustrating part. Listen to that. But he's gonna sit there and try to tell me he's been there. Worst part is I'm just scanning through here and you can't find an open frequency anywhere. Like, that shows you how popular it is. These bands are opening up, but these bands all the way to, all the way to the end, 14350, it's crazy. And I know they're frowning upon using the extra frequencies, but I mean, that's the only place that's open. Because you had somebody up in here, you just start talking any minute. You got somebody down at 300. It's just absolutely crazy how packed this is right now. So you can hear it, even though it's not really showing up in the scope, you can hear the talking. You know, this might be open. Let's see. Let's wait a minute and see what shows up here. And remember, you gotta go. You gotta move around 3 kilohertz or so because the signal spread out. And some of this stuff is, I mean, you can look at it. Every one of these is QSO going on. You know, somebody was just right here talking. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I might just start working some park to park. I'm getting frustrated. You know, I've had 22 signals, so 22 calls QSO so far. So you know that I am, I'm already got enough for this activation, but this is just frustrating, and I'm not happy. I'm grumpy. Hence my name. So I'll scan around a little bit. I'll see what's going to happen. And I don't know. Yeah, Grumpy Dad YouTube page. You got some people fishing right here. Got a lady who can bait her own hook, What can you say? You got some people, family fishing back here. I don't know if they're still there or not. You got some boats out there going back and forth. You can see the crab traps. So, all right, so we switched to FT8. I got the power running at about 40 watts, and this actually tuned with no problem. I'm actually getting like a 1-to-1 or whatever you want to call it, 1.1 to 1 with the tuner, external tuner, and I'm sitting here running this FT8, and they're stacking up. To be honest with you, I'm at kind of the end of the band, so. Now I have no idea if I'm logging this right. So if anybody's watching this and I didn't log it right, but I'm logging in WSTJX for the FT8 side. I'm logging it in hammers as a FT8. I'm changing this to whatever signal strength I have, and I'm just, as I work these things, as I work them, I'm putting them in there. So I'm hoping that I'm doing this correctly. I've tried to find videos. There are not a lot of videos on how to get hammers with WSTJX for POTA with FT8. I'm surprised that, there's a lot of ham videos for a lot of things. I'm surprised that they don't have that. But yet here we are. We're working some FT8, and I'm pretty hyped up about that because I was worried that there was something wrong with my setup when I couldn't run it yesterday. But hey, we're here now. So I got people spotting me, and as you see all the reds, that's people calling me for the POTA. The only thing I don't know also is what I'm confusing. If anybody's watching this that can maybe help me out is why on some of these logs for POTA, of course there ain't gonna be one right now because I can't, but usually sometimes they have question marks where this POTA is. I want to make sure I don't have question marks. I want to make sure that my park's here, but how do I know if my park's here? So I don't know. I gotta say, just to keep everybody updated for the video, FT8 is rolling. For how busy those bands were on voice or SSB, I am just rolling. And all you see, all these reds you see is just all transmissions, people calling me when I do CQ POTA on FT8. All right, so it's about 12:50 and we just finishing up. I finished with about, it was close to 60. I don't know if I hit 60 or not. The bands were packed. Hey, everybody wanted propagation back. Overall for HF, it's a very good thing, and I'm happy to see that. The only problem is when you want to come start working stuff like this, you can't find a free band or a free frequency or anything. I know a friend of mine was trying to get with me. He wants to test his rig out. He lives in Texas, so we were trying to find right before I left, a free frequency in the 20-meter band. I know I was hitting Texas when I was doing all these, QSOs and stuff, and we can't even find a free frequency. As soon as you think it's free and you wait, because people need to learn to wait and transmit, and somebody would start splattering all over us, or anything like that, something like that, or they were there first, or just whatever. But again, that is, I guess it's a good problem to have, because I know, y'all, if y'all follow me at all, y'all know I've kind of I was taking a break from ham. My old dipole antenna in my backyard got struck by lightning. Even that goes to show you that a storm that was probably over a mile away, I was trying to pick, this was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. We had a pool in the back, the kids were smaller, and they had, oh hell, that was probably even, time flies, I tell you what. But to make a long story short, kids' pool stuff started flying everywhere with the storm. I'm picking up toys, the inflatables and stuff. Again, the storm was well over a mile, almost 2 miles away from my house probably, and all of a sudden my dipole gets struck by lightning, puts about a 2 to 3 foot hole in the ground where the feed line came down and blew out the side of the feed line. I had pictures of it at one time, and ever since then HF has been off my mind. And back then the bands were absolutely horrible. Anybody who's been in HF for a while knows that. So again, I'm glad to see that the bands are back open. People can work stuff. I worked people this weekend from Louisiana, Texas, to Spain, to Canada, to Mexico, to Cuba. So I'm sure probably had some South American countries in there too. So I'm happy to see that those bands are opened up. So what I did is I think I ran, I don't know, about close to 20, maybe it was about 20 QSOs or whatever on voice. It might not have been that many. I don't want to lie to y'all. Yeah, it's about 20 QSOs on voice, but then somebody set up right next to me, like I told y'all earlier. So hey, he said he was there first. Funny how I was working for 20 minutes, didn't hear him, and all of a sudden he's platted on top of me. I don't know, it ain't no big deal, no beef. I moved on. Couldn't find anything, went to FT8. I'm ecstatic that my FT8 system worked, and y'all saw that video also, that FT8 was working great. I'm hoping I logged it right when I get home. I got some yard work to do. I'm going to Home Depot right now, but at some point I'd like to upload that log. I'm hoping I did it right. I'm hoping it gives everybody credit for their parks to parks. I made sure I put every contact in hammers, and also on the WSJT program or whatever it is. So between both of those, I'm hoping it's covered. And then when I had about enough, I think I had close to about 30 QSOs, maybe a little bit more than that, of FT8. So then I moved over to back to 20 meters, and I just kind of hit some park to park. So there's a lot of people working. Bank conditions are great. So I think I might have ended up with about 6 or 7 more, maybe about 7 more parks to parks. I think I finished with about 57 QSOs at the end total for the day. So, you know, we've spent, I don't even know what time I got out here. You know, 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, and finished with 57 QSOs for this park, Manchac Wildlife Management Area. And I had a good weekend doing POTA, I have to say. It was cool, it was fun. You know, it's a different side that when you're hunting at the house versus you're activating and working those pile-ups and stuff. It's cool that people are trying to get you like that. And even the FT8 pile-ups was pretty cool. I showed y'all that. So, you know, I wish I could have did more video of me operating. I just don't know what y'all want to see. I know sometimes when I watch these ham videos, I rather see the more of the setup and different people talking about that part of it and kind of talk about how it goes, how it went and summed it up. I don't know if I really want to sit there and watch somebody work. That's just me. I'm sure y'all have it different ways. I know that, you know, if y'all want to see more operating, let me know. I'm planning on doing a lot more of this POTA. Now, when I get home, I'm planning on setting my radio, get it out my truck, set it back up on my desk, and I can kind of see why now people get smaller, you know, less power radios for stuff like this, just because to make it more portable. I mean, don't be wrong, this radio right here is not heavy, but I do have that older ICOM at home. It doesn't really pick up, it doesn't really put out anything close to 100 watts, but I am contemplating bringing that with me on my next POTA activation, just to see how that works, because I would like to be able to leave this one permanently set up at my house and take that one with me. I'm definitely not buying another ICOM 7300 just for POTA. But, you know, on my way home from work, I pass up the park that we did yesterday. So there are times that if the wife and kids are off doing something after school and I'm on my way home, I can stop at that park and do an hour's worth of POTA. Especially if I get my other antenna in, that's that vertical, that's a lot easier to set up. I can't wait to try that out. I got people on video saying that they're not even using, you know, ground wires and radios and stuff. But if I can just sit there and just deploy that, extend it out, it's gonna make life a lot easier. I have to also figure out my power connector issue. Saturday in Grand Isle, I had to cut off my little power pole connectors. One of them wasn't right. I got sick of dealing with it. It was very hot at that first place. So I just cut them all off, re-stripped them, and put the wire straight on the battery. Hey, it's fused. So it is what it is. But I got to figure that out. I got more of the power connectors coming. I got the correct crimping tool. You know, sometimes you need the correct tool for the job. I'm gonna redo all that, and I'm hoping that fixes that. So if I can get that part fixed, I don't have to run this crazy wire everywhere. Or I am looking at a battery. I know people been telling me about the Biendo batteries or whatever they're called. I just don't know if a 20 amp hour is gonna be long enough for when I go on some of these hunting trips and stuff. That's my only concern. And, you know, I'm reading the reviews on some of the Amazon batteries where you can get, you know, the 40, 60, or 100 milliamp hour batteries for the same thing a 20 Biendo cost or whatever it's called, but they're not as good. So I don't know, you know, but if I could do that, that would make this setup, I'm trying to make this setup a lot easier, because when I'm setting this up and it's 30 minutes out in this sun, it's 97 degrees right now, September 2nd at 1 p.m. and I checked it earlier, it was 105 with the heat index. And if I can set that whole streamline up, it'll be a lot easier. I know that in October, beginning of October, that weekend, first weekend, I think it's the 5th and the 6th, is my son's birthday. He wants to go out of town for his birthday. He'll be 18. I'm talking about possibly taking him to Grand Isle for the weekend and go fishing, or maybe even Gulf Shores or Florida or something like that. And I'm planning on taking my rig with me, and I want to see if I can activate a park there. I told y'all I'm excited about going to Missouri, doing that hunt, and seeing what parks I can activate there. So I might have to extend my hunting trip an extra day or two just to do some POTA work. So, you know, I hate to be in the middle of the woods working POTA while I'm supposed to be hunting in the deer stand. You know, doing some POTA activations from the deer blind, for the box blind. That'd be cool. With a wire hanging out the back of the hunting blind. But That's it. I hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. Again, I'm stopping at Home Depot. Got some yard work to do. Then I got to go barbecue. And then I'm going to work some overtime tonight. So, busy time. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for watching this whole ham series for this weekend. There'll be some more coming up and some more fishing videos coming up. And then eventually some hunting videos coming up. So this channel should get a lot more active. We'll see. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all in the next video. So it is 7:40 p.m. I'm still working some POTA. I'm at home just hunting some POTA. But I wanted to show earlier, this is from today, September 2nd, when I was at the Manchac area. And I'm just going to add this little video to the end of the video I just made. But I just wanted to show you that this is all the contacts I made today, so you can see that antenna was getting out. I wish I would have made a separate log for FT8, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't know how long I'd be able to do FT8 and if I'd be switching back and forth or not. I didn't want to have to worry about swapping logs. So I learned that I can do FT8, but I didn't get any. I didn't get any DX stations this time. But as you can see, that antenna does get out. But I am checking on my vertical whip from DX Engineering, and I definitely should have it by next weekend, and I'm eager to get that up. So see y'all in the next video.